You're listening to Flip Empire, the show committed to helping real estate entrepreneurs who want to build their empire without sacrificing their life. Your success and freedom starts now with your host, Alex Pardo.
You know, a friend of mine, Armando Cruz, who I've also had in the show, one of my, closest childhood friends, he's an entrepreneur in the health and wellness and the health and fitness space. He said something to me recently. He said, anxiety lives in the future. You can't be anxious if you're living in the present. And isn't that so true? Anxiety lives in the future. You can't be anxious if you're living in the present. So ask yourself if you're currently living in the present. Ask yourself if you're anxious about something, about an unhealthy fear, or something that is more in your head and is probably not even reality. So I hope that story just really shows that things can be very different in your life if you don't allow fear to overcome you. And most of the fear, it's just BS. It's one of the acronyms I've heard is false evidence appearing real. Another acronym I've heard is forget everything and run. Don't choose that acronym, but just realize that fear is meant to fuel you. It's actually a gift. It's a tool. It's a weapon that you can use in a positive way. Okay, so that's the first thing I really wanted to share with you. And I wanted to kind of start with that story because I just think it really ties into, almost 5 years later, now sitting behind this microphone, recording this podcast episode for you, episode 500. The second thing I told myself, I said, how can I be different with the Flip Empire show? And the first immediate answer that came to mind was, I'm going to be myself. I'm just going to be genuine. And despite the fact that I was in my head about how I would sound or how I would look, or would people find value in what I was saying, blah, 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 right? All the crap that we tell ourselves, the inner critic. I said, I'm going to quiet that inner critic and I'm just going to be genuine. And if I say ahs and ums and I screw up and I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, or I'm not an effective communicator, well, screw it. It is what it is. This will find the people it's meant to find, and the people that don't like it are just going to tune me out, and that's fine. So hopefully I'm either tuned up or I'm tuned out, right? But my buddy Tom Kroll, always says, you don't want to be in the middle. You want to be tuned up or you want to be tuned out, and he's so true. So the second thing I told myself, and this is the second thing I want to share with you, is I'm going to be real. I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to be very vulnerable. I've said before that I believe vulnerability is the new currency. And what I've realized, and what has really been amplified over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, is that vulnerability takes courage. It's difficult to put yourself out there and say, hey, I messed up. Hey, I effed up. Hey, I screwed up. I was just on a mastermind call a couple of days ago, and I won't share the specifics, obviously, because that's private, but one of our members was kind of struggling because in his opinion, he didn't make the right choice or decision on a property that he put an offer in that actually ended up getting inspected. So he put an offer in on a property sight unseen. And let's just say that this particular property was extremely unique. It was a property that was probably built for little people. It was almost like a tiny house. It was a very unique, odd property, probably the only one in the city. And he realized instantly when he saw this thing in person, he's like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like this thing is not meant for people to live in. It's just a weird house. It was kind of built underground, and it was small and tiny. And, what was interesting is as everybody started to pour into him and share, hey, look, are you looking at it from this angle? What about this opportunity? What about that? And by the way, they're in the process of really building up their social media and really providing a lot of valuable content, really, really sharp people, just awesome people, sharp entrepreneurs and real estate owners and business owners. And what I actually shared with him, I said, hey man, you need to highlight this quote unquote mistake. And we started sharing with him how there's opportunities from a marketing perspective, from social media. This can be turned into a very unique Airbnb. And he was hesitant to put that out there because of how it might reflect on him. Like, how could he have made, in his mind, this choice? But what we all saw was, hey, this is a massive opportunity. And I even told him, I said, dude, this quote unquote mistake, I said, I think you need to amplify this on social media. And I think you can really turn this into a positive. And people just had some really valuable feedback for him. So I challenge you and encourage you to put your mistakes out there. Not only is it going to be healthy and beneficial for you, but it's going to, more importantly, impact others and give them the strength and the courage to be genuine. Like I haven't met one person that is flawless, that hasn't made a mistake. In fact, every single person I have ever met that I consider to be successful in life and or business, and I'm not talking just financially, but just that I consider to be well-rounded, successful individuals, every single one of those people makes multiple mistakes on a daily basis. And so you're not any different. The only difference is they're willing to share it, and you might not be able to, or you might not be willing to, let me say, because it's a choice, right? And so I encourage you to really exercise that vulnerable muscle that we each have inside of us that we think could be our downfall, when in fact, I think that could be what really like props you up. Hope you enjoyed that episode. But before you go, I've had a lot of people recently reach out to me wanting to learn more about Ascend, wanting to understand how the mastermind component works, how the coaching relationship works. And so right now we're actually on a waiting list. But what I would encourage you to do is, if you think you're the right fit and you think you could benefit from being a part of our community, head over to ascendyoursuccess.com, watch the short video, and then just click the apply to join button below. And then we'll be in contact with you if and when a spot opens up. So really appreciate you listening to Flip Empire here, and I look forward to connecting with you on the next show. Take care.